Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 20 Solar Light Dollar Tree DIYs for you. I have a little bit of everything in today's video and I hope you get inspired. For this Solar Light DIY, I bought a mirror from the Dollar Tree. It's actually a pretty nice size and it's got like a white distressed frame, which I love. And I thought this would be really fun to make into a solar light that's going to be a shelf. Now it's something that you could hang on the wall. If you're going to hang it outdoors, though, the back is not made out of solid wood, so you might have to replace the back and maybe glue the mirror in. I'm going to make mine like a standing shelf, though, and I'm going to do it with these little wood pallets from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to glue 2 of them together side by side, and that should be the perfect width for this mirror. And I thought this would make a perfect little shelf to put little plants on, and we can use a solar light to light them up. So I wanted to kind of match the mirror. It's a distressed white. So I just went over both the palettes with white, just one coat. So maybe some of the wood will show through and give it that distressed look like the mirror. And this way it can stand up on its own. You can sit it on a table. Again, you could hang it. It does have a hanger on the back of that mirror, but I was really impressed with the size of the mirror. To attach it, I just use some hot glue here and attach it to the frame like this. So that helps it to stand up and you get a little view of my filming station there as well. And I'm just going to reinforce it with a little bit more hot glue here on the bottom just to make sure that stays on there. Now my plan is to hang a solar light on there. I found this solar light from the Dollar Tree, which is kind of a unique design for the solar light. And I thought this would be perfect for this because it's flat on one side, so I can put that side against the mirror. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the pole on it, but not the stake. And so it can sit on the mirror like this. And the light will reflect off the plants and the mirror. So I think that would be really fun. To hold it, I'm going to use some of the little wood rings from the Dollar Tree. You can use whatever you have that's round. I liked the size of these. They're not too big compared to like the shower rings and stuff like that. So I'm just going to paint these white as well. They are wood. And then I can attach those to the little windowsill there. I thought 2 would probably be better for outside, and they can be just a little holder here where I can actually change out the solar light if I need to. I'm going to put a little hot glue on here, and I'm going to glue it like right on top of the little sill there, so it's glued to the mirror and to the sill. It doesn't have to be super strong. It's just going to be holding it in place just like that. So 2 of them. And that is what it looks like so far. Now for the solar light, we can just slide that right in. Let's go ahead and get started on the plants. I picked up some terra plants from the Dollar Tree. Be careful when you buy these because I've had this happen a million times where some of them have been broken. But I have 2 that are good. And I'm just going to fill them up with a little bit of Spanish moss. And I'm just going to do something really easy with these 2. I'm just going to do some Dollar Tree succulents. This one is a newer one that I haven't used, so it has a stem on it. My other one doesn't, but I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue it onto the Spanish moss anyway. I think it'll work. Just trying to trim this one down a little bit and attach that. This is going to go on my back porch, so it doesn't really have to be too resistant to weather. And then I'm just going to hot glue this down into this pot. And for the third plant, I just found this cute little house plant at the dollar spot at Target, and I thought that would be a cute addition as well to our little solar light shelf. So I can style it for you. And you can always use real plants for this as well if you've got a green thumb. I'm just going to place my little pots here on here, and all I have to do is add the solar light. Mine wanted to turn a lot, so I added a little hot glue just to keep that in place. And I'm just going to slide that into the rings that we attached to the mirror. And this DIY is ready to go. It looks really pretty during the daytime, which I love. And it looks really nice at night as well. So let me show you how this one turned out. This is what it looks like during the daytime. It is really pretty. Now, one thing that I did have to go back and fix is the hot glue between the mirror and the little painted boards down below wasn't quite strong enough. You're going to need to use a stronger glue for that if you're going to put yours outdoors. I usually use hot glue because it speeds up my crafting process so I can bring you so many DIYs. But look how beautiful this turned out at night with the light shining down on the little succulent plants. I think this is so fun. It's kind of on this smaller scale, but a really fun patio decor, I think, that will recharge on its own. Again, this is what it looks like during the daytime or indoors. And this is what it looks like at night. I think it's so fun. What do you guys think about this one? Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more DIYs, and I'd really appreciate it if you would hype today's video. For the next one, I got pencil cup in this great copper finish. I also found copper solar lights at the Dollar Tree, so I picked up 3 of each. I thought we could combine these together and make stringing lights, like 3 stringing solar lights, and make them kind of look industrial. I think these are so pretty. Now, I was trying to decide how in the world I was going to attach that in there. I didn't think glue would really keep that in there hanging upside down. And so I'll show you what I ended up doing. I was thinking if I can't really do that, I could kind of like sit it in there, but I would really need to kind of cut a hole in the wire to make it stay in place. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. The wire on these pencil cups is nice and thin, and so it's easy enough to cut with some wire cutters. These wire cutters I got at, I think, Lowe's. They're really pretty good. I like the fact that they're nice and small for my hand, and they work pretty well for cutting out wire. Now, I didn't want to make it too big, the hole, so I kind of started small on this one to kind of figure out what I was doing. I got a little bit faster on the other two. But I sit it in there. Pushing it through, the tension really holds it into place. I don't think I really need to glue or anything. That wire tension is going to hold that into place as soon as I get it to the right size opening. Maybe a few more snips on this one. Again, I really want it to be snug. You won't have to worry about water gathering in this because it can go straight out from the bottom through the openings in the mesh, and the top of it will be kind of open like that, so the solar lights will be able to charge well. I think this is going to work really great. You can make put as many of these together as you needed a string of lights. And the great thing about this is that you won't need any electricity. So for the second one, I do the same thing. I just snip out a hole, try to get it somewhere towards the center, about the same size, and put my second light in there. What I'm going to use to string them together is the planter hanger chain from the Dollar Tree. I thought a chain would be really durable and it would be pretty easy to hang those up with that. I'm just going to leave it in black, but you could paint it in copper to match this if you're going to do the same color scheme as me, right? So I have 3 of mine, and here is the wire. It has a hook on top, and then it has 3 chains that come down that all have little hooks on them. So I really need 4, but my Dollar Tree only had 1 of these, so we're going to make this work. I'm going to go ahead and use like some pliers to remove that from the top of the hook. Now, one side is really easy because it's got the little clip on it, right? So I'm just going to clip that to the top of the pencil cup like that. And then I am going to do the same thing here on the other side. Clip it to the pencil cup like that. And I can just hang those chains on nails like that or hooks. Now for the middle section, I'm just going to take my extra wire here, and I am going to cut it in half. So what I'm going to do is just bend it where I can go over and under this, and then clip that on by closing it. I found that this chain was pretty heavy duty. You did have to apply a little muscle there. And then I'm going to figure out how long. I take the little clip off because I only have 1 clip at this point, so I can't really use those. And it looks like 1 piece can be removed, and then the 2 pieces will be the same length. So it can be evenly spaced like that, right? I open up this side as well, where I'll be able to go over the top of the pencil cup and put that on there. I just make sure that I'm working, they're separated into quarters, so just make sure you're working directly opposite when you go to attach your next chain here on the other side. So this is the leftover piece. I just open and close that with my pliers, making sure that I got it on there really good. And then 1 more, I just make sure I'm putting it on the right rung here, and I string that one on as well. So we have these industrial looking like can lights. They're really cool, and they're solar, so that's so much fun. Let me show you how these turned out. This is what they look like during the daytime. Again, if you wanted them all to be copper, it would be pretty easy to spray paint the chains the copper color. But I don't seem to mind them with just the copper and the black combined. But let me show you how cool these look like at night. They were so easy to do. You could string up as many of these as you need for a little solar light like display that you can hang in your yard or in your porch or something like that. So easy. Those pencil cups were perfect for this, and I love how this one turned out. Again, this is what they look like during the day, and let me show you what they look like lit up at night. So fun. What do you guys think? I picked up this solar lantern from the Dollar Tree. You get the little lantern and you get the hook. So all of this for $1.25, so great deal. And I'm gonna display it in a flower pot. I found this one actually at Dollar General for $1, so even cheaper. I thought it was perfect. It says Flower Market on it, and I think I wanna do a bee theme with this one. So to fill it up, I'm gonna use some of one of those little foam circles from the Dollar Tree. It fit perfectly in there, but I do wanna weigh it down so it doesn't tip over outside. So I fill it up with some stones from the Dollar Tree. You can use whatever you have. Some kind of rock, something heavy down there. And then I put the foam in here, filled up that flower pot perfectly. And I think that's going to provide me a great base to be able to make a flower pot solar light. I just put the little hook together. It's really easy to do. And it is going to be the perfect scale, I think, for this project. I wanted to do a bee theme on the solar light. So I thought this would look really cute hanging like this, the little lantern hanging on it, and the flowers all around it. And I want to do bees, of course. So I just went ahead and put that in there, putting the stake all the way down into the rocks and a little bit of hot glue to help reinforce that. So that's what we have so far. This is the great little lantern. I am just going to pop it open, and it has the twinkle lights inside of it. So these are solar twinkle lights as well. And I'm going to add some bees. Now you can get Dollar Tree wood bees, but I've been having trouble finding them. So I found these on Amazon. I have these linked in my Amazon shop, I believe, in the description of today's video. And they were pretty inexpensive as well. And you get a huge bag of little wooden bees. And I love bee crafts, so I use these all the time. They do have double-sided tape on them, but I don't really want that to be seen. So what I did is I took 6 of them and just removed the double-sided tape from both. I'm going to add hot glue to the back. I do let the hot glue cool off a little bit because we're going to be adding these to the electrical cord. I didn't want to melt any kind of protection on there, but I just want to stick them back to back like that, sandwiching the wire in between them. Now, the lines of the twinkle light are going to be like the lines when like a bee flies, right? And so I'm going to do 3. So every other in between the twinkle lights, I did a bee back to back. So it'll look like that there are 3 bees in there flying around inside the lantern, which I thought would be a really fun effect without really having to add too much other stuff inside this, because I want to add a lot of other things to the flower pot as well. I just put my lights back into the lantern and screw the top back on. It clicks right back on there. And again, for a solar light, I think for $1.25 that this one is definitely a really good value for the ones that are available at the Dollar Tree. They have so many different kinds right now. For the flowers, I picked up some greenery from the Dollar Tree. I chose these because I just want it to almost look like a bushy plant, right? And I want to have more greenery than flowers with this one. So I just cut them into individual pieces and just start filling up the flower pot with these. I did pick up 2 bundles of it, and I think they're just called plastic foliage or plastic greenery. They didn't have much of a description. And I did the same thing here with the other one, filling this little planter in. And if you have a green thumb, this would be great to do in a real plant as well. I'm trying some outdoor flowers, and I've already killed one of them, so wish me luck. And then this is some of, I think this is the summer filler that I got this year at Dollar Tree with like some little yellow berry looking things on them. I thought that would be a fun effect since I'm doing bees. I wanted little touches of yellow in this DIY as well. So I just add some that I had left over. I also have some of the white berries, which I thought would be pretty neutral and go together with it, and just provide a little bit of difference between the different greeneries as well. These cosmos are some little flowers that I thought from the Dollar Tree that kind of look a little bit like wildflowers, something that bees might like. And so I have a few pieces of these left over from other spring DIYs, and we're just going to kind of cut these and put these in there as well. I did want yellow flowers, and the yellow flowers they end up using are actually some fall flowers that I still have left over from the fall, but they're mums, and I just really liked the color for a bee theme. And so I'm not going to use the greeneries. I don't think you'll be able to see any of the brown on them. I'll just take a couple of them and trim them off and put them down into my little honeybee solar light DIY. Now we can't just have bees like flying around in the lantern. I thought we also needed to add some to the greenery as well. But first I'm going to add just a little bit of reindeer moss anywhere that you could see the foam, just to make that look a little bit better. And then I'm going to attach some bees to some of the greenery like they have landed on this plant. So again, I'm just going to take the double-sided tape off. I just prefer to hot glue them on because sometimes the double-sided tape is so thick that you can see it once you attach it. And I don't think it's probably as strong as my Gorilla Glue hot glue. And just here and there, I'm going to have the bees like climbing on the leaves. I think 3 is plenty. And now we can hang our little bee lantern here on the hook, just like that. And such a fun, easy DIY. I think this is perfect for summer. This is how it turned out. Really cute. Everything was from the Dollar Tree except for the bees. And I got the flower pot at Dollar General. But this is how it turned out. I think this is so bright and festive. You could use this for both spring and summer. And as you can see, it's really pretty during the daytime as well. But the great thing about this is that it lights up at night and you can still enjoy it. Really fun. I love this type of solar light with a little stake and the hook. It is really a good deal for a Dollar Tree item. And again, you can kind of find the bees just anywhere because I haven't been able to find those lately at the Dollar Tree. But I've been getting mine on Amazon, but I know a lot of you guys have said that you've got them on Temu as well. Again, during the day and lit up at night. Isn't that so fun? Okay, the next DIY, I picked up one of these fun little like square window solar lights and one of these blue plastic vases from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to make a really easy little lighthouse for an outdoor solar light that turned out just so cute. I love these little plastic vases. They're really a nice size. They're pretty sturdy. And I am going to make it a lighthouse. From vacation in Door County, Wisconsin. And where we were staying in Sturgeon Bay, they actually have a square lighthouse. So sometimes I craft square lighthouses, but usually I see round ones. But I was like, oh, great, there really are square lighthouses out there. So I love the blue color, and that part's going to light up a little bit. So I want to leave that intact, but I also want to do stripes. So I'm just using some painter's tape. The only time I have to be a little tricky is around the corners a little bit there, just to make sure all my stripes stay straight. I have to kind of just bend it there at the corners. But I want it to have like blue and white stripes going down it. They have these vases in clear and probably some other colors as well if you want to mix up the colors. The stripe pattern is probably going to be your easiest way to paint them. And I'm just doing straight across like this. So I'm going to have a blue stripe, a white stripe, a blue stripe, and then I'm gonna, I think I have room for another little blue stripe here at the bottom. So only one piece of tape here, otherwise I kind of doubled everything up to make my stripes nice and large. And then I'm gonna paint it with just some acrylic paint. And the stencil dauber worked really well for the pot that we used. So I'm going to go ahead and use it on this one and just kind of dabble the ivory acrylic paint on there to give me some white stripes. And it seemed to work pretty good. I didn't get any brush strokes or anything like that. You could always spray paint it too if you wanted to. So this part won't let any light through, but all of the blue parts will. So that will look really cute lit up at night. And I think that solar light makes the perfect top for a lighthouse. I'm going to make it really simple because it's going to go outdoors. I don't want a lot of details that are going to weather or anything like that. But I think this plastic will definitely hold up well in the outdoor Florida weather. So I just went over both of those sections where I want the ivory stripes. And if I see any blue coming through, I just kind of go over it again. Give it a quick dry here with my heat gun. And it's gonna not be super heavy. I guess you could weigh it down if you needed to, but I thought with it being open like that, it kind of put it down in the mulch and stuff like that. in my landscaping, and it should stay put. So I gave it a second coat wherever I needed. And now we can go ahead and start preparing the top. So it has this on there, which is going to kind of get in the way. So I decided just to remove it. It does pop out. There's these little plastic tabs that kind of keep it in. And I was having trouble getting it out just one side. So I just used like a little Cricut scraper and I just went ahead and popped the bottom off. Now the paint is getting dry on my lighthouse. I'm going to go ahead and remove all my painter's tape and reveal that really cute lighthouse pattern on here. I recently made like a square lighthouse shelf, like tier tray on my channel. It turned out so cute. This kind of reminded me of it. It's being a square blue and white lighthouse. And my painter's tape did pretty good. There was a couple places that had a little bit of bleeding. I'm just going to take a baby wipe and kind of clean up my lines a little bit. Make everything look really good. I'm not going to do windows or anything on there, but you totally could if you wanted to. Again, just using some painter's tape, you could get some perfectly like square rectangular windows on there. And then we're going to put this at the top. Now, the little plastic windows is actually like a little box inside there, and it doesn't really want to stay in place since I removed the bottom from it. So to fix that, I'm just going to glue that in place, because I do want this to be closed. I want the plastic windows in there. So I just use a little hot glue all the way around and glue it to the plastic cage, since I'm not going to have a bottom on there. And I really didn't want to have a bottom on it because I wanted to light up the rest of the lighthouse too. So then I go around the top there, or the bottom of it, with more hot glue once that's set up. And I glue that directly to my lighthouse. I told you it was going to be easy. Check out this really cute Lighthouse solar light. This was so easy to make. It held up really well, even though I didn't really weigh down the bottom of mine. You could add some stones or something now like that, or attach it to something. Mine tipped over quite a bit, but it never broke, and it held up really well outdoors, and I'm actually still using this one. This is one of my most popular solar light DIYs I've ever done, especially over on Facebook. Really fun. I know a lot of you guys have recreated this one, and I really love it. I know that they have these vases again this year. The ones I just saw were not translucent like this, but I have still seen them like both kinds in different colors as well for your lighthouse. You just need an empty bottle of soda. I'm going to try it first with one of the smaller, just regular size bottles of soda and a Dollar Tree solar light. And I saw this idea online. I wanted to try it. My son said that he's home from college. He had the great idea of making jellyfish solar lights. He always has the best ideas. And so I wanted to try it with a bottle. So I just took the label off and cleaned it off. And then what I'm going to do is just paint stripes on it. So I'm using my Posca paint pens. I love these. These are really good paint pens. Are permanent, and as you can see, they're really easy to use. And I'm using like kind of a sky blue color and just kind of making lines along the sides of the bottle. And then I space those apart about 1 inch, and so about halfway through each one, I'm going to go through with like this more aqua color. I've really been working on my Posca paint pen collection. I think I have just about every shade right now. I absolutely love these things. So I just alternated one of those in each one to paint the tentacles, kind of alternating different colors of blue. And then you just need to cut the top off the bottle. I start with just a razor blade and then just go in with my scissors and just cut the top off of the bottle. I made the stripes go about all the way to the end of where I think that the tentacles will go. And then the bottom of the soda bottle will become the top of the jellyfish. It's also going to hold the solar light. I am going to go ahead and poke some holes in the plastic first. I'm just using my Cricut weeder and a lighter to get it hot so I can kind of carve through that plastic. It actually worked surprisingly well doing it this way. I want to poke like 2 holes in the bottom of the bottle so I can like string some twine through there to make a hanger. If you want to make yours where it's like you can't really see it, you could always use fishing line, but I don't really care. I'm actually going to use these to like hang these like in trees and bushes, and so I don't really care if it's twine. I just feed it through the top like that inside the bottle where I can pull it through, and then I can just tie it together to form a hanger for our first jellyfish light. We're going to do a couple of these, a couple different varieties, and they were so much fun to make. These would be a great DIY to get like the little kids involved with too. I made my hanger a little bit shorter. Mine was a little bit on the long side. And then I'm just going to start cutting my jellyfish tentacles. What I'm doing is just cutting in the clear part of the bottle between my stripes. So I guess each one of the tentacles is probably about a 1/2 inch. I didn't really measure it, just kind of estimating it. And I do that all the way around. Now I'm going to be putting the top of the solar light up into the top of the jellyfish. So really the only thing I'm going to need is the very, very top of it. So I'm just going to kind of take it apart and then put it in there and melt the plastic around it. That's going to keep it in place. So I put it all the way in the end like that. This is just a regular soda bottle, so it's got like those bumps like on the bottom of it. That's going to be what the top of this jellyfish looks like. And then I gather all the tentacles together like that. And just using my heat gun, I am going to melt that plastic, kind of shrink wrapping the solar light in place. You don't have to use any glue or anything like this. And I got this idea from another YouTube video. I will try to remember to link it down in the description. I thought it was a really fun idea. So now the tentacles, you can see, are starting to kind of bend already on their own, just from a little bit exposure to the heat. And I'm going to bend them more, make them curly like jellyfish tentacles, but I don't want them kind of like all going every which way. So I actually just put a bottle in the middle. It's just like some adhesive remover. It doesn't matter what it is, just something to keep them kind of on the side where I want them to be. And I just go around with my heat gun, and as you can see, they melt and curl into like fun little tentacle patterns, just like that. And I really like using like the two different colors. It kind of differentiates them a little bit. Mine were a little tangled, and as you can see, they melt quite shorter than you would think. So this is kind of a small jellyfish. I'm also going to be showing you a larger option on this one that actually turned out pretty good. Just making sure everything is about the same length. You can always trim them if you want. I really like the tips of mine all curly like that. I think that gives like the jellyfish vibe. And then I thought maybe I should add a few details to the top of the solar light too. You can see the metal through there, but I'm just going to use those same blue colors. Just do some polka dots around, something simple. And maybe even like a little bit on the top. And then for my other color of blue, I just kind of came in and did some squiggly lines. Something fun. Doesn't have to be that crazy. And a few polka dots on the top. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Our first solar light DIY. It is a tiny little jellyfish. So let me show you. This is what it looks like during the day. Such a fun, whimsical DIY, doing your own jellyfish. I really think each one of them that you do would turn out different. You could do them in different colors as well. But adding the colors to the little tentacles on there, I think really makes it pop. But this is where the magic happens. Look how beautiful this looks like lit up at night. It almost looks like blown glass, and it's just made out of plastic, which is really fun. And the little solar light is protected in there from the weather, but it can still charge there through the bottom of the soda bottle. This is what it looks like outdoors in my landscaping. I really love how this turned out. Now, this was kind of the smaller version that I made with just a regular size soda bottle. And then I am going to do another one here for you, another variation of this one, but definitely one of my favorite solar light DIYs. So this is another bottle. This is a 1 liter. So you could do it with a soda. I thought maybe the smart water bottle would be good, or a water bottle in general, because it's flat. There's really not a lot of shape on this. So my tentacles will be all kind of straight before I curl them up. Now the water bottle label left a lot of residue on there, but it was super easy to remove with some of that. It's kind of a new kind of glue gun material that they have from Dollar Tree, and I use that to clean up the bottle, and we can start DIYing this one. I'm going to switch up the colors. I'm going to use that same like sky blue color, but I'm going to mix it up with some of this like dark blue to kind of give this one a different vibe. And then just starting a couple inches from the bottom, I work my way up to the top with another 1 inch like tentacles, kind of alternating those around, making sure my line is nice and thick. So you're going to be able to see that coloring on the tentacles. And I actually like that color a little bit better than the first one that I used. Really shows up well at night. And then I just go in and every half an inch, I guess, I do the light blue to do the tentacles on this one. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just adding some color to add some fun to the jellyfish tentacles. And out of the two DIYs I did prefer this one better. The longer bottle, it did make longer tentacles, really gave you that jellyfish effect. So again, all you have to do is poke a hole right about here and cut off the top of your water bottle. And then I'm going to poke holes in the top of this one, which is the bottom of the bottle, like I did before. This worked really well. The Cricut weeders are pretty sharp. You could use probably about anything you have that's going to have a sharp pointy surface on there, but getting it hot definitely works well. I know a lot of people do this with their hot glue gun, but my hot glue gun tip does not seem to get that hot. And then I'm just going to feed the twine in to make a hanger for this one. I'm going to display both of these together. They're so cute. I think I might make some more just because they're so whimsical and fun. And you know, the solar light will be protected inside the bottle, so I think it'll last a long time. So just like before, I'm going to cut like 1/2 inch strips. So I'm just cutting about halfway between my blue lines all the way up, leaving a couple of inches there in the top for the solar light. And you're just going to want any of the round solar lights. I found that the regular size like this solar light from the Dollar Tree fit in this 1 liter bottle a little bit better than it did on the smaller one because it's kind of got a flatter bottom and you can kind of push it all the way up. It's nice and wide. So just like before, I pop it in there and then I'm just going to kind of shrink wrap it in there. Kind of get the tentacles out of the way, but just trying to shrink wrap it, make it hold it strong, and the recycled plastic is really easy to melt. I was surprised at how well this worked. I'm thinking you could probably do the same thing with a blow dryer. I'm not sure if a blow dryer is quite as warm, but it was really easy to do with a heat gun, and they're so inexpensive. I got mine on Amazon. I think I have the one I use linked below in my Amazon shop. I really love this one. I've went through quite a few of these, and this is definitely my favorite one. So again, I just popped a bottle in the middle just to kind of keep a little bit of semblance of my tentacles going every which direction. And then I just start running the heat up and down them until they start melting into all kinds of curly, crazy tentacle patterns. And they're all a little bit different, the way that they go and the way that they melt. It's really kind of fun, kind of unpredictable, and probably every single one of these you make would be a little bit unique. And it's a great way to recycle a bottle, and you're only using that $1.25 solar light, so super inexpensive to make. You can make as many of these as you want. I'm just trying to get mine curled exactly the way I like it. And then I like how I decorated the first one a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. We're going to do like maybe a different like little polka dot pattern around, and I can do some polka dots here on the top as well. And then maybe some squiggly lines. Maybe I'll go up and down this time. But again, just adding those same blue colors that I added everywhere else. And a jellyfish can have any kind of a pattern on there. They're really quite beautiful. And they do glow up, you know, a lot of the bioluminescent ones. And that's how it turned out. So this is a larger version of the jellyfish solar light. The tentacles are much longer. I think I might like this version a little bit better just because it is a little bit more substantial, as you can see there with the tentacles. But I really love these. You could do as many of these as you want. And I actually use these to light up like the bushes like in front of my house. Really fun and whimsical. And I love the fact that they're coastal. This is what this one looks like lit up at night. Again, that thin plastic looks so much better when it's lit up like that. And again, this is what they look like together. You can kind of see like the size variation between the two. Just be careful when you're melting like the tentacles there with your heat gun or your blow dryer, and kind of make sure they are kind of curling in the direction that you want to go. You might have a fail or two, so always have a couple extra bottles on hand when you're doing this DIY. For the next DIY, I'm going to take one of the little terracotta flower pots. This is the 2-pack, so it's a little bit larger than the 3-pack one. Always make sure those aren't cracked. I always try to make sure I don't go home with broken ones I have before. And a solar light from the Dollar Tree. These are the ones this year. They're a little bit wider with the little lamp base on there, which will work for this one. I want to be able to put the hole there on the bottom of the solar light into the pot, though, to make it more stable. So I just took a screwdriver and a hammer, and I'm just busting out that hole that was already in the bottom to make it bigger, but trying to do it one step at a time so I don't crack the pot, right? So I think that will work, and it'll make it a lot more stable than just sitting it on top of it, if you know what I mean. So I put some hot glue around the little peg, and I stick that down into the pot, gluing that into place. Now, what I wanted to do was a beehive or a bee skep theme on the solar light. I thought that'd be really pretty for spring or summer. So I'm just going to take some Dollar Tree rope. I'm using the thinner, I think it's a 9-foot of the brown rope, and it's going to take like 1.5 packages of it. I start down here at the very bottom of the flower pot, and I'm attaching that with hot glue. And I'm going to wrap this around. I want to keep this as close to the bottom as I can, so I kind of sit it down as I do it. And that little area there where I continue the rope, I want to make sure that that continues. You can't see any of the pot through there. I didn't want to hot glue all of it down. I did find that I needed to at that first like lip down there at the bottom. And you really can't see that. I wanted the shape of like a bee skep or a beehive, and I really got that look, right? So I just keep going until I run out of rope for the first one. I almost had enough. And then I'm just going to start and stop. The brown rope from the Dollar Tree blends really well. Just make sure you remove your plastic from the tip, of course. You can see I don't have very much left to do. I do want to go all the way up to the solar light. And one thing I noticed about this new Dollar Tree solar light this year is it has those lines on the side, so it kind of gives you a cool line pattern coming out each side when you light it up at night. The old ones were like more of a star pattern, and they were smaller, the little lamp. They seem to change them up a lot. And I went to Dollar Tree twice today, and they had so many new kinds of solar lights. Really fun. For the opening of the bee skep, I just take some black acrylic paint. I think this is actually the chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree. It's very black. And just paint that on with a paintbrush into a circle. For the bumblebee, I found these in the school supply aisle. They are little erasers. Aren't they so cute? They have different little bugs here, butterflies, bees, ladybugs. I thought those would be really cute for a DIY, and it'd be waterproof because it's like a rubbery material. I just attached that to my bee skep with some hot glue, also tacking down the wing on that, and it's just the right scale. I didn't really burn off any of the fuzzies on this one, so I went and did it later. It really wasn't that bad. But this is how it turned out, our little bee skep solar light. I think this would be so fun mixed in with your landscaping. I think it would also be a fun light like for a little fairy garden area as well. This actually is held up pretty well as well. The rope on there, and anytime I use like a hot glue with a rope, it usually seems to hold up well, even in Florida heat. But I really love how this little bee skep turned out. Let me show you what it looks like lit up at night. Really fun. You have lots of options for like different bees, even like some of like the little metal wind chimes from the Dollar Tree. They have little bees on there as well, little tiny ones this year. And that would be a fun item to add to your bee skep as well, but just doing that with a little flower pot. Again, the day and at night. Isn't that so fun? Okay, for the next DIY, I picked up 2 of the glass candle holders from the Dollar Tree. One of these, is that a vase? Maybe a vase, and just a regular solar light in silver. I want to turn that upside down and cover it with some of these glass gems from the Dollar Tree to make it look like a lampshade. So I want to make a really beautiful outdoor lamp, and I love how this turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 2 candlesticks. I'm going to leave them clear glass. I think that's cool. I'm going to stick one on top of the other one upside down like that. And since it's glass and I want it to be durable, I'm using a really strong glue. This is the Gorilla Glue Clear Grip. And I go ahead and glue that together, letting that sit up, making sure I didn't have any excess glue coming out on the sides. I love how this turned out. These glass gems are so pretty. I'm going to use a couple different kinds because I wanted like a teal, but also kind of like a clear. I didn't really want to do the frosted with this. I didn't think the solar light would be strong enough to light up the frosted part. So I'm going to kind of alternate, and then I'm going to have it upside down like this. So it's just a matter of, you know, taking the sticker off the bottom of it, which can be easier said than done. I got a good adhesive remover from Dollar Tree recently that works really good. It's just kind of like a Goo Gone. And we got that cleaned up. I'm going to leave the top clear so that my solar light will still charge underneath of it. And then it's a matter of attaching it. Now, the first time I tried this, I just used the Gorilla Glue and they fell off like immediately. So I'm going to have to switch it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put the clear grip glue on there so it can start to get tacky. And then I'm actually going to put the hot glue on the actual glass. And the combination of glues did the trick because otherwise they're just going to fall off. So I'm alternating like that turquoise blue with like that clear glass. And I'm going to alternate that all the way around. So I've already got that clear grip Gorilla Glue on the glass beads and then just doing a dot of hot glue on this. And I'm just kind of working where I can around the edge. I can't go all the way up against the edge because it's kind of beveled, the side of the vase there. But I'm just going to continue this, gluing these all the way down. And this turned out so pretty. And when it's lit up at night, it's going to look gorgeous. You could put this out in your landscaping. You could put it like on your tables or wherever you want to sit your outdoor decor at your home. I think it looks really elegant. I think I'm going to put it in my Florida room. Sometimes I don't get enough light in there, depending on if I have my curtains shut or not. But I think this is going to look really pretty out there. So I did kind of measure the last 3 to see if I was going to be able to repeat my pattern all the way across, and luckily I was. So now it's just kind of a matter of going through these, finding the colors that I need to continue that pattern all the way around. And I counted, it was a total of 14 went around the bottom. Now I'm going to continue 14 for every row and just kind of do stripes down. I know it's going to get wider towards the bottom of the lampshade, but I didn't want to mess up my pattern at all. It's not going to be that much wider. So I just go ahead and put the Gorilla Glue on all of them in advance. And then I kind of switched up. I figured I could do about 2 at a time here. The only problem with that is my hot glue was getting a little stringy. So you might want to kind of clean that up as you go. If it's just a little piece sticking out, I noticed that if I use my heat gun, it will kind of shrink back where it should be. But I don't care if you're going to be able to see some of the glue. I'm more concerned with them being properly adhered and staying on there. And the hot glue seemed to be the trick. I know you're not really supposed to mix glues together, but just using the clear grip, even though it's tacky, they would not stay on the sides of the glass. They just all fell right off. So I'm going to do another row of 14. So 7 of the teal, 7 of the clear. And you could mix it up. You could do like more than one of these. You could do like stripes. I'm wondering what the frosted ones would look like. I know the solar lights it's going to be inside this, so I didn't know if it would be strong enough really to light up the frosted ones, which is why I kind of wanted to go with the clear ones. But I think they turned out really pretty, and I've been looking for a craft to use these little glass gems with. I've had them forever, but Dollar Tree does still carry them, but I don't craft with them often. I think one reason is probably because I thought they were kind of hard to glue, but I think I found a method that actually works pretty well. Hopefully this is going to hold up outside. So I need more clear ones. I found some more clear ones in a package I had with some of the green gems. They do come in all different colors if you'd like to switch up the color scheme. I love this coastal blue color. It's my favorite. It goes with all my coastal decor. And as you can see, I stagger. So if I had a clear one before underneath of it, I do like a teal one like that. And I'm spacing these out a little bit because this, of course, this is the widest part of my little lampshade. Now with all this glass on there, it really does make it kind of a heavy duty piece. I think it's going to do really well standing up outside. So they're all staying on really well. The hot glue really helped. And I just use my heat gun to try to shrink up any hot glue that you might be able to see. And then I just pop the top off of one of the Dollar Tree solar lights. It can be any of them that just has the top come off like that. And I'm going to glue it inside. So this is going to protect it. It will still charge in there under the glass. And so I use some of that Gorilla Glue there on the sides, trying not to cover up the solar panel itself. And then I'm also going to put some of that glue here on the metal part. And then I am going to glue this on the inside. After I DIY'd this, I did store it upside down for a couple hours to make sure this part was really glued in place because I didn't use any hot glue with that part. And then this is going to be the stand for our lamp, just making sure I'm going to be able to get it in there. It's a little odd because it's not like a perfect circle, but I think we're going to be able to make it work. So I have it in there. My solar light works great. And it's just a matter of putting it all together now. For this one, I decided to alternate. So I'm going to do like the Gorilla Glue clear group every other one. And then I'll go back and fill in the other places with some hot glue just to get me started, since it is kind of an odd fit. And sit my lampshade right on top. But it's a little bit easier to work with if you kind of just flip it over. I did have kind of gaps because of the shape is not a circle. So I went in with some more of that Gorilla Clear grip. And I just went in with a paintbrush and kind of pushed it down. I'm trying to fill up all of the holes that could be remaining. I want as much adhesion as I can get to make it stronger, all together one piece. So then I also went in with hot glue and went around as well just to make sure that this is going to stay together. That lampshade is pretty heavy, so I wanted to make sure it didn't fall apart outside. Which is why I'm using the Gorilla Glue as well, because of course the hot glue will soften up a little bit outside in the sun. But let me give you a little look of how our little lamp turned out. I think it's so cute. It looks like a little lampshade. And the glue method that I used for this actually held up really well. It's pretty heavy duty like this. I don't know if I would display it somewhere where it might blow over on concrete or something like that, because it would probably break. I used mine as a table decor outdoors, and it worked perfectly as a little lamp. Let me show you what this looks like lit up at night. As you can see, the light pattern from the glass is so pretty, just from the candlesticks alone. And then you get all of these little gems from the Dollar Tree all lit up. And of course, I love the blue color, but that shape of candle holder like that, the glass candle holder that I used, makes a perfect lampshade for a little solar light DIY like this one. Isn't that so beautiful? I really love this one. Next, Dollar Tree Solar Light DIY. I'm going to use one of these little Shore Living jars. This is the bumpy one. That's like that beautiful teal color. And it's great because it's already got like a wire hanger on it and everything. And another one of these little solar lights from the Dollar Tree. I didn't realize how many different varieties of the solar lights they have at the Dollar Tree. They have like 4 or 5, maybe more. Now, I kind of want to cover up that little metal pattern on the outside of it. So I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree rope. This is I think the thinner one. And I just start gluing that all around. What I want to do is sit this on top of the jar to light the jar up. But I want to kind of just make it look a little bit more coastal. And so I thought rope would be a good option. So I just go over the sides. Cut that down to size and glue it on. I think I made this one way and then I kind of went back and fixed it a little bit once I saw what it looked like in the dark. But at first I just screwed off the base like that and left the little light thing on there. And I'm just going to hang it like that. So I just attach it with hot glue because I do kind of want it to be removable. If the little light goes out, I can always replace it with a new one because hot glue is usually pretty easy to disassemble if you want to. And that looks really cute like that. But what I found was when I went and tested this in the dark, the little light fixture, if you leave it on there, it kind of focuses all the light right there instead of lighting up the whole jar, which is what I wanted. So I just popped that off and took the plastic piece off and reattached the top. I did that on a couple of them, and I went back on both of them and removed that. I usually removed that piece on all of today's DIYs. Now, I thought it was a little plain, so I thought we could take it up a notch by adding a Dollar Tree Shore Living sand dollar to the front by just hot gluing that on to the glass. If you want that to last a little bit longer, you're probably going to want to use like E6000 or something like that. But we're going for convenience today, and that's how that one turned out. I'm going to show you a similar one that I did too. This is also from the Shore Living line. It's that same color, but this one is like a fish scale or mermaid scale all over. And I'm going to kind of do the same treatment on this one. And I kind of display these the same way in my landscaping out in front of my house, but this one's really pretty too, I think. Now, I kind of wanted to do the same thing that we did with the last one, but instead of the sand dollar, we're going to use one of the little starfish from the Dollar Tree. I like the contrast of the white on the blue. I think that's going to look really cute. I can kind of make a pair. They're the same color, but they're different. They have different items on them. They have different patterns on them. So I just hot glue the little starfish to the front of that jar as well. And then we can start DIYing the little solar light to go on top. Now, these solar lights, make sure you test them before you buy them. Pull out the little cardboard piece because, man, some of them I did not test, and I think I had to throw away like 3, maybe more, maybe 3 or 4, because I didn't test them. So lesson learned. But I just hot glued that on the top of my jar, and then I'm just going to go around and finish this one off with rope, just like I did with the last one. You can do the rope part after you attach them to the jar like this, or you can do it while it's still attached to the stake, just kind of whatever you want. I do want to just kind of cover the top of it. Again, so if I do want to switch out the solar light to a new one, like next year, I would be able to do that pretty easily. So just leaving the little solar panel there on the top, exposed, so we can expose that to the light. And if you wanted to weigh these down to make them sturdier to put on the ground, that would be really easy with pebbles or rocks or something like that. But what I'm going to do is hang mine. Now, this is what they look like in the daylight. Really fun. I love those glass bottles. Now, Dollar Tree has lots of varieties of glass bottles. I think these were specifically Shore Living, so you might not be able to find these exact ones, but I think that you could find some that were pretty much about the same size. This is the little shepherd's hook from the Dollar Tree that I used to hang these in my landscaping, and they really held up well out there. Really impressed. Let me show you what they look like hanging in my landscaping at night. This is the sand dollar one. And again, with the sand dollar and the starfish, since Dollar Tree has discontinued the Shore Living line, you're going to have to get those somewhere else. I've been finding a lot of them on Temu, a great source, or if you want some real ones, I know Amazon is a really good source as well. But I just glued those straight on the front of the jars, and it really made them so pretty. And if you wanted to tint your own jar with some Mod Podge and paint on the inside of the jar, that would work as well. For the next DIY, I found this lantern from the Dollar Tree for $3. I thought this was a great buy. It's made out of gold metal, and it has the glass inside of it as well that I guess you could put like a candle in if you wanted to. It was packaged well as well. I thought the bottom, that part was a cup, but it's actually open at the bottom, which is kind of weird, but we'll make it work. And then I'm going to use a solar light for this one as well. I want the solar light to sit on top like that The little lamp part can't stay on there, but that's okay. We can just use it without that. So I'm only going to save the top there of my solar lamp. Now, I didn't like the fact that this was silver metallic and our lantern was gold, so I'm going to paint it. I didn't have the same color of gold. I just had this gold metallic. But you know what? We're going to make it work. It's still going to be gold. I just sponged it on with a little stencil dauber from the Dollar Tree, so it kind of looks like a brushed gold finish on there, and I think that's going to work. I also got a gold bee from the Dollar General for $1 that I'm going to add to this project. For the greenery inside the glass, I'm going to use some Dollar Tree eucalyptus and cut down some branches of that. That part will be lit up. And I thought that would be a fun backdrop for that cute little bee. So I'm just going to cut some pieces down, filling up the little jar. And then this is what it looks like so far. I'm going to decorate this and make it look really fun for summer. I thought that the little bee could hang on it. It's a pot hanger, but I thought it could definitely hang on the glass as well. It's got two little arms like that are bent to hang on things. You can hang it straight like that, or I actually end up hanging it just by one arm in the end just to make it look a little bit offset. So this is the little solar light we're going to put on top of it. I thought about removing the handle because I'm not going to be able to use that once I get the solar light on there. But I thought, what the heck, I will just go ahead and leave that on. I just put hot glue on the top of my lantern and put this on here instead. Now, I like the fact that this is a solar light lantern and not a candle that I have to light, so it will be able to charge itself. I was going to add some flowers, but then I changed it up to some of this greenery from the Dollar Tree that has little yellow buds on it. I thought this was definitely more to scale for this project than my larger yellow sunflowers. I thought I could just decorate maybe the two front parts with it. And so I take some floral wire and I'm just going to simply wire this to it. I think this is really pretty. This greenery I found at Dollar Tree this year, they had all different ones. They had ones with like little white berries, yellow, I think even blue. I think maybe even pink. They had all kinds of fun spring colors. And the green wire that I'm using blends in pretty well with the plant itself, so it won't be too noticeable. So I just wire that up the side like that. And again, I wish that that middle section did have, I guess it's because that's just a sleeve for a candle, huh? That must be why it doesn't have a bottom. I'm going to cut off another piece from the other side, but I don't want them to be symmetrical. I want them to be different lengths. So I cut this one down a little bit shorter just for a little bit of variety, and I'm going to wire this to the other side. Now I'm only going to do the two front corners where you can see, but you know what? You could do all four if you wanted to. I just twisted my wire there at the bottom so it's a little bit stronger to hold this in place. And this wire definitely works better than hot glue for something like this, especially something that you're going to be putting outside. I do want most of the leaves to be able to move freely, so I only did like the main stem that I wired to the lantern itself. So I think that looks like a fun backdrop for that beautiful gold bee that we can add to it. And so I'm going to go ahead and add this, try to, without losing all of my greenery that I put inside. Right in the middle, that's all going to light up when the solar light goes to light up. And then all I have to do is add my little gold bee from the Dollar General on front. I'm just going to attach one leg like that, make him look like he's climbing up. And then to help seal my solar light so the light doesn't kind of come out where it's not supposed to, and help glue it on, I just cut down a piece of Dollar Tree rope and then I'm going to go all the way around. I'm gluing this to the solar light and to the lantern itself because I did notice that a little bit of light was escaping there when I went to test this one out. So the rope goes well with the bee theme and it goes well with the design as well. And I just glue that to the top there underneath the solar light. And this is how it turned out. Isn't it so cute? Our little bee lantern for summer. I love bee DIYs. I've done a whole bunch of them here on my channel. They are so fun to create. And this little Dollar General find of a bee was so cute and inexpensive and a fun addition to this Dollar Tree little lantern that we created a solar lantern with, which I love to do with those lanterns so you don't have to worry about a candle or a light that you have to turn on and off. This is what it looks like lit up at night. As you can see, it's just as pretty as it is in the daytime. Pretty bright shining down inside this lantern. And I'm not sure of the cost on these lanterns this year. I know they did raise the price on these. If they're not $3, they might be $5. But really cute. What do you guys think about this one? I found this candle holder at the Dollar Tree too. I think it's slightly coastal just because it's that beautiful like blue color, but it's got that beautiful like silver like bracelet around the top of it, like collar. And I thought that would actually match like the silver on the top of the solar light. So we could do something really pretty, but I thought that pattern on the jar would look really pretty at night if we lit that up. So I'm just going to kind of weigh mine down a little bit just to have something in it to weigh it down. So I just used some white pebbles from the Dollar Tree, nothing that's really going to take away from the color on that. And then we can just attach that just straight on with no rope or burlap or anything on the sides. I do kind of want to make a hanger for this one as well. It's always nice to have that option to hang something up, especially a tiny one like this. And I'm just going to hot glue all that on the inside of the jar, kind of like we did before. And then when we glue the solar light on there, it's going to kind of seal that on there. And I'm using this one on my table in my Florida room as well. I just kind of lined some of the smaller ones up, and they look so bright together, all in combination. So I just hot glue that on there. It's a perfect size for that small jar. And again, we're just leaving the silver sides to kind of go with the silver glam effect. But of course it needs something coastal, right? These are the little blue starfish. I get these on Amazon. They are linked in my Amazon shop below. I get the ivory colored ones, but also the blue ones. And they are so cute and fun to DIY with. So check those out if you need some little tiny starfish to decorate with. But I just glue that onto the front of the solar light just to give it a small coastal touch. You could always do that on both sides as well. But I think that's pretty good. I don't think it needs anything else. So this is how one of the solar light DIYs look if you just leave it exposed. And you have to be careful with the Dollar Tree solar lights. I know this year and last year they started introducing like the solar lights that don't necessarily screw off as well. And so I've been getting a lot of them at Dollar General instead because they screw off a little bit better. And I think they're maybe a little bit cheaper. This is what mine looks like lit up at night. As you can see, it has a beautiful light pattern. So be on the lookout for pretty glass jars like this from Dollar Tree. They're so fun. Okay, the next DIY, I picked up one of these fancy solar lights from the Dollar Tree and one of the fish bottles in the teal color. I really love this solar light. I love the pattern that this provides, but I don't think the black itself is coastal. So what we're going to do is take it apart and paint it. I thought if I painted it white or like an ivory color, it's going to make it look so much more coastal. I'm just cutting out a piece of cardboard from a pizza or a soda box just to cover the solar light part there. It's just a little bit easier way to tape that down so that I can go in and paint these. I'm going to spray paint because that's going to be so much easier to get in the solar light and all the pattern on there. And I'm just going to paint it this sand dollar color. It's kind of a cross between white and ivory. It's pretty light. It's definitely coastal looking. And I'm just spraying it to get it in the pattern, then going ahead and attaching the pole. I'm going to go ahead and use that. That's going to come in handy for this DIY. And I'm also going to spray the inside because you can kind of see through it a little bit so that the whole thing is going to look ivory. I'm going to do this same thing here with the top. And I'm only painting like the very top of that. The inside of it can be black. You're not really going to be able to see that part of it. And the humidity is back in Florida because the spray paint was taking forever to dry for me. That always drives me crazy with all the humidity. So I'm going to pop the lid back on this. It looks really pretty. It looks a lot different this color, doesn't it? And this already has like a white fish on the front of it tied to it. So I think that's going to look really cute. I want to kind of put it in like this and make a little light fixture, but I want to weigh it down a little bit. Just with some pebbles. I have some blue pebbles. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to be able to see them. And I'm just going to put those inside the bottle just to weigh it down. Just because it's going to be outside, I don't want it to blow over. It's also going to give me something to put the post of the solar light into. So I just put that in there, work that down inside the gravel to hold it in place. I don't need to use really any glue or anything. It's a pretty tight fit. I think it's going to stay in place. And it just made a really pretty coastal light. Let me go ahead and remove the cardboard. It does leak a little bit doing it that way, but it's definitely easier than taping it off. But I cleaned it up and this is how it turned out. Now these glass bottles are, again, Shore Living, but it's very similar to the glass bottles they have all the time. You could always tint yours if you wanted the same color. I used that frosting spray with the seafoam color, would look really pretty with this. And if you saw my latest new solar light DIY video, I actually did the same solar light and I made little tiki torches with them by using a Dollar Tree broom handle, and I painted everything this light color, which I really think makes this particular solar light really pretty. And as you can see, the light pattern is fantastic. Okay, next DIY, I'm going to use one of these large like canning jars from the Dollar Tree. This is another version of the solar light. I find that the light on top of it is pretty much the same size. As you can see, it is like a smooth, shiny surface on the outside, but it's definitely going to fit even on this like large jar. I wanted to do kind of like a dangly coastal display in this one. So I'm just filling up the bottom of it with some Dollar Tree tan sand to kind of give me that beachy vibe. I don't want to decorate it too much, but I do want it to have a little bit of decoration. So again, I'm using some of those little tiny starfish that I get on Amazon. These are the ivory ones. They are different sizes, but they all come together. Sometimes you only get the tiny ones, but sometimes you get those larger ones too. I like the variety. And so I'm just going to kind of like toss some of those in there. What I want to hang down inside this solar light is one of those little dangly sand dollars. So I thought starfish on the bottom would be a nice touch to go with a little sand dollar. And these are from the Shore Living line. These are little wood beads with little hanging decor. I'm going to use the sand dollar for this one. I'm not a big fan of the navy on there though. I really kind of want to stick with the beachy blue and the white, and it's too long anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and take them all off and then just alternate like turquoise and white from the beads that were already on there. But then I have to determine how long I want it to be because I want it to be able to like hang down in there. I think I ended up going with like 5 beads and then tying that off. And then I thought we could attach that to the solar light and like let it dangle down inside the jar. And again, this is a canning jar from the Dollar Tree, but definitely the larger one. So there is a little hole where the little light comes out. So I'm actually going to take advantage of that and just try to glue my twine into that with my hot glue. I was afraid it wasn't going to stay in place though. So I also like hot glue down like the very top bead to the plastic on the underside so that the light will shine down on it, but like be like right next to it and dangle down inside the jar like that. Now it fit in there perfectly with just friction, so I just popped it on there, no glue at all. But I do want to cover the sides where it like all screws in there on the jar to make it look a little bit more finished. This is that macrame rope that I've just recently been able to find at Dollar Tree, but you could always use like any kind of cotton twine, like cooking twine, stuff like that. It's going to give you that same feel. This, I like it because it's like working with the jute twine, but you're going to get a different feel when you use that white color. And I'm just stringing that all the way along the sides of the jar, but also on the sides of the solar light as well, all the way to the top. And I try to show you, but it messes up all my starfish. So you're just going to have to wait. Be patient. But I do kind of want to break up the colors on the top. So I thought I would use a little turquoise paint and paint like half of that macrame rope, this beautiful like turquoise color. It's like the same color as the wood beads inside, kind of give it like a two-tone effect, and it definitely painted really well. It's okay if I don't get like complete coverage. It's going to give it a little bit of that coastal farmhouse feel that I'm always going for with these DIYs. But this was really easy to put together, and I think it's definitely really unique, and it turned out really pretty. So we're going to give that a quick dry, and then I can show you how this little DIY turned out.
So you can use something just as basic as a mason jar like this from the Dollar Tree. Light it up. It is a large space, so it's going to light up nice and bright. I love the addition of like the sand dollar. That was just something that I found at Dollar Tree with Shore Living. So just kind of an idea. Right now they have like summer wood beads with like flamingos, lemons, watermelon, I think, on them. That would be a fun idea too for a summer jar. And as you can see, it looks really cool lit up at night. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of the large jars from the Dollar Tree and one of their party bowls, and I wanted to see if I can make a mushroom light using a solar light. For the bottom, I wanted something big and wide to make it look like a big, chunky mushroom, like almost like a Smurf house. So I'm using one of the larger jars from the Dollar Tree and just removing the tag from the bottom. That adhesive remover from the Dollar Tree actually works pretty well. And we're going to frost this. I want it to be able to light up, but I want it to have some kind of a frosting where you can't see in it. So I'm just going to use some of the Rust-Oleum spray paint and the frosted glass, and it goes on clear. Really only one coat is all you're probably going to need. I just went in and dried mine with my heat gun, and as you can see, it frosted perfectly on the inside too, so that will be protected from the weather. For the top of the mushroom, I'm going to be using one of the party bowls from the Dollar Tree. You could do whatever color you chose. I chose a blue one. I think it's so pretty. Now it's fluted, but on the inside it's not. So I think I can still do polka dots on here by doing them on the inside. Again, the paint will be a little bit protected there as well. And I'm just using the stencil daubers from the Dollar Tree, one of the large ones, and dipping it in some white acrylic paint and doing polka dots. If you don't get a perfect spot the first time, you can always put the dauber down one more time in the same spot and fill it in a little bit. I'm just alternating up and down, going all the way around and trying to line it up with the spot that's directly across it so that it will be symmetrical and it won't run out of space when I come to the end of it right here. So just giant polka dots there on our mushroom, and that part was so easy. Since it's translucent, that it will be able to light up as well. For this solar light, I'm just using one of Dollar Tree solar lights. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the top. I'm going to go ahead and take the little lamp off of it. That way it will light up the entire mushroom. And I'm just going to attach mine with hot glue. I've had luck with hot glue in my outdoor solar lights. You could always use a stronger glue like E6000 or something like that if you wanted. And I just put that in the center, and then we can sit this on top of the jar like that. Now, I don't want it falling apart because this is definitely going outside of my landscaping. So I'm going to add hot glue here all along the rim of the jar. And then I'm going to add the mushroom cap on top of it like this. Now you could flip it over and have the bottom of it be open, but I wanted the bottom of mine to be closed and everything to be closed on this project, so I think that's a great way to seal it. Now I did use hot glue to attach my solar light to the top, which was not strong enough outside, so I did have to repair that with some stronger glue. So definitely use like the strongest glue that you can find when gluing your light to the top of the mushroom. But I love how large it is. It's really pretty. You could do all different colors with these little party bowls at Dollar Tree and have like different color mushrooms. Frosting the jar, I think, was a fun effect as well. And this looks so cute out in my landscaping. And I love the fact that it lights up so pretty at night. The blue one is definitely up my alley with my coastal colors. This is what it looks like during the day. And then let me also show you what it looks like lit up at night. Super fun. I love how this one turned out.
They had these in all different colors. They had these small cups like this. They also have the large ones that you could use as well. And since they're that blue plastic, it's going to make it glow nice and blue. And you're going to get that fun little tiki face in there. Reminds me of Hawaii. And I thought we would try something different to cover the sides of the solar light because we've used rope a lot. So let's try using one of these like little spring purses from the Dollar Tree. I think this always gives me like a nice like seagrass look. Kind of what I was going for on this one was kind of like a little bit of a grass skirt vibe, but on a very small scale to kind of cover up the top parts of the solar light. So I'm just cutting around just to cut strips out of this. And I think that's going to work really fun. It's going to go with the theme of this, like the little luau tiki theme. So I'm going to use one piece to cover with the screw part of where I took the lid off this little cup. And they had these in all different colors. It'd be cute if you lined these up, different colors, or these would look really cute if you strung them up as well. I'm just going to try to do some party table decor for these. Now I'm going to use that same little purse from the Dollar Tree and cover the sides of the solar light as well. It is going to take a couple strips to go all the way around. And definitely disguises that. It makes it look more intentional with like that grass skirt vibe. It's going to go more with the theme. I did kind of want to cover it all the way. So I'm going to do a third row, just kind of overlapping them as I go. And I think that looks pretty cool. So we're just going to pop that off the little solar stake. And again, we're just going to attach it to the top. But I don't want it to fall over because it's just plastic again. And so I'm just going to put some white pebbles in the bottom, just something to weigh it down, but not something that you're really going to be able to see from the outside. I don't want to take away from that cool pattern. And this one looks so cool when you light it up at night because it gives you that fun tiki pattern and the light pattern when you light it up. So I just attached that with hot glue. And I think that little purse worked great to cover the top of it.
Now, this is a solar light that would be really great for like a summer party, think like a tiki party, something like that. Really fun. They're not very large. You could use them to like light up tables. You could also use them to like light up pathways. That would be pretty inexpensive with these little party cups. But I love the fact that this was like a tinted plastic like this. So as you can see at night, it lights up nice and bright, blue, really cool. You don't have to turn it on and off, and you can definitely reuse this. It will give you a little bit of that tropical vibe. I always love that. And this is what it looks like during the day. Really fun for your tropical vibes, and then it looks really cool lit up at night. Okay, next DIY, I'm going to combine one of the little Dollar Tree like fish bowls and one of the glass candle holders and one of those fun butterfly solar lights. So I thought we could do something fun here. I found some sea life toys at the toy section at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use the dolphin in that. Now, if you don't have those or can't find those, you could always use the little wood dolphins from the Shore Living line as well. So for this one, I want to remove the butterfly, but I don't want to remove the wire because I want to have the dolphin jumping out of the water is what I was thinking. And so I'm just going to remove the little plastic clip, take the butterfly apart, and leave the wire on there. These are the sea life creatures I found. And I thought a dolphin would be perfect because I can make it look like the bottom of it was the ocean. We have a little dolphin jumping through the air. Above the ocean like that in the little glass fish bowl. So kind of all fits together. I was thinking I could attach it. It can dangle down inside there. Now, I don't really like the fact that it's just blue. Dolphins usually aren't this color. So we're going to give our little dolphin a makeover with some elephant gray acrylic paint. And it's okay if a little bit of the blue shines through. But I think it looks better painted than it did. Maybe it makes it look a little bit less like a toy, but I always check the toy aisle at Dollar Tree too, because you never know what you're going to find. You could find some cool little sea creatures like this. I don't remember Dollar Tree ever having the sea creatures before, so it's a relatively new find. Now to attach the glass fishbowl to the glass candle holder, again, I'm just going to do some E6000. It works great, especially glass to glass like that, and set the fishbowl right on top. Like that, super cute. I like the glass on glass effect. And then for the ocean, I'm going to use some of the crushed glass from Dollar Tree. This is the blue. I thought that would represent the ocean. It's kind of a darker blue, but I think it'll work. So I don't want to put too much in there because I want the dolphin to be jumping out of it. So I'm just basically covering the bottom of it with that to represent the ocean. And then we can try to make that sit on the top, even though that solar light is way smaller than the top of the fishbowl. Now, this is the dolphin. We have to try to figure out how to attach that to the wire, but I think we can make it work. Now, this is black again, and I don't really want the top of this to be black. The solar light, I don't think it's really going to go with my coastal vibe. So this time, instead of painting it or taping it off, I thought it'd be easier just to cut down some packaging for a square. And again, I'm going to do the khaki spray paint and just spray paint it until it's a color that I like a little bit better. And it'll kind of blend in because I think I'm going to have to use rope to make a lid for my fish jar. So just turning it around, and I do craft in my garage. That's why I am able to spray paint out there. I just try not to get it on my camera if I can. Now, once I have that painted and dried, we can start working on the lid for this. So my plan is I can take some Dollar Tree rope. This is like the thinner rope, I guess. I'm going to start right here on the top and hot glue it to around the top of it. So basically, I need to make a large lid that's going to be the perfect size to go over the top of the globe. So let me show you how I do that. I'm just going to hot glue that all the way around. When I get to here, instead of wrapping it around the solar light, I'm actually gluing it to the rope itself. Because again, I need a lid and I need it to be a lot larger than the solar light is itself. And this was just a scrap piece of rope. I actually just did whatever length I had on there and hoped for the best. Now it's time to try to figure out how to attach the dolphin to the solar light to have it kind of suspended up in the air. It has a wire on it. So I just took my Cricut leader and poked a hole here in the top of my dolphin. And then I just have to try to figure out how to get the wire in there. I want it to be tight enough that I can kind of secure it in there without a whole lot of effort. So I'm just kind of straightening the wire out with a pair of pliers. And I put a little hot glue on the tip and I tried to just kind of stick that wire down inside that hole that we drilled in our dolphin to try to attach it. I found that the hot glue was not really necessary, but it was a little bit easier if I did it upside down like this. I just held the wire with pliers and stuck the dolphin right on there. Now I'm just testing to see if it is like the right height where it's jumping out of the water, that it's not too low or anything like that, and it looks good. Now I do a bead of hot glue around the outer edges of my rope lid. That way I can glue it to the jar itself and kind of mold it around that like globe shape, like a fishbowl. So I just kind of push that down on the sides, and look at that, my rope was the perfect size to make a new lid for the top of this. And then to bring a little bit more rope, I'm also using that Dollar Tree jute twine to decorate the candle holder down below, just to make it all kind of go together. Anytime you can use like rope, burlap, it's going to give you that coastal texture. It looks really great with coastal crafting. So I just wrap that around a few times until it looks good, hot gluing down my end. And that's all there is to it. This turned out so cute. I love the dolphin jumping. I'm just going to clean up the twine, burn off some of the fuzzies. My son is going to be home from college soon, and he is going to love this one. I just know it. So this is what the fishbowl looks like during the daytime.
Really cool. I love the little jumping dolphin out of the water. Just a fun thing you can do with like some of those little toys from the toy aisle at the Dollar Tree. And the little butterfly lamp works great for that because it already is set up perfectly for that. This is what it looks like lit up at night. Nice and bright. You can see that dolphin jumping. Very fun coastal take.
And I didn't have to really use anything here from Shore Living or anything like that to still get a fun beach take on this solar light. And as you can see, it's really bright at night.
For the next one, we're going to try 3 of the summer plastic seashell cups. These are little iridescent like seashells, and I thought these were really cute because they're kind of opaque. And I thought we could do 3 of them, put them together, and make like a hanging solar light arrangement with the little solar light sticks from the Dollar Tree. Now, they had these at the Dollar Tree. Also, they have a clear blue mermaid tail that I think would be really cute with this as well. I chose these because they were more opaque. I thought it would look really good with the lights in the side of them. So I just need the bottoms of the cups and I just need the tops of the solar lights, and we can start putting these together. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just start hot gluing some rope around the edges of these because again they had like the little screws there for the cap, and I just want to kind of cover those up and make it look a little bit more coastal. With this Dollar Tree rope, it doesn't take a lot to cover that up. And then I'm going to cut that down and glue it to it. Now we're going to go in and do the same thing on the other 3. So basically I am doing the rope on the little plastic cups separately from doing the rope on the side of the solar lights. That way I can take them apart if I need to and replace the lights. And you'll see how I string all these up as well. So just covering up that screw part on all 3. And mine just worked perfectly if you just went around with the rope about 3 times. And I hung this in my Florida room. It's kind of in front of my curtains. I don't know if it's charging properly there, so I'm probably going to have to move it. Thinking about hanging it right outside my Florida room, like maybe above my bench out there. And maybe it will work a little bit better because I think maybe I just blocked all the light from it. But I'm just going to burn off the fuzzies on those ropes to clean those up a little bit, and then we can start putting the little solar lights on them. Now, you guys asked for solar light DIYs with a coastal feel, and I think I may have went a little crazy making 20, but I wanted to give you guys a wide variety and lots of ideas that you could use. So I just used that Dollar Tree twine. I just cut out a rather large piece and glue that on the inside so we can make little hangers. I want to hang them all together, like in one little arrangement, kind of like you would hang like a wind chime or buoys or something like that, but just with seashells. So I do that on all 3. So right now they're still kind of all separate pieces, but they all have long rope handles. Now I just do a bead of hot glue all the way around and just glue on one of those little solar lights to the top, kind of sandwiching in the handle. That's going to make the handle a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here with the other 2. I don't know if you guys have allergies really bad right now where you live, but where I live in Florida, I have been suffering for weeks. My eyes are completely swollen shut in the morning. Now they're like, crusted shut. Oh my gosh, I have been struggling so hard with my allergies. All of my normal things are not working, and I'm really not wanting to go to the doctor to get a prescription for some steroids, but I probably should. Today, I reverted to trying some herbal medications for it, and actually, I think I might have had a little bit better effect with them, but it's so embarrassing. I can't wear my contacts, and everywhere I go, my eyes are all swollen. It looks like I've been in a fight or something. Hopefully it's about over because I can't take much more of it. So as you can see, I'm just tying them to each other, like right above their solar light. I just loop that around and tie it, and I do that on both of them. You want to make sure that you don't get them so close that the light from one is too bright for the solar panel on the bottom because, again, they only turn on when it's dark. So I tried to stagger them, like completely kind of one completely on top of another. And that seemed to work. I also wanted them to hang a little bit straighter, so I'm just going to glue the twine on the sides of the little solar lights. And as you can see, that one in the middle is a different kind of light. That's why I put it in the middle, because it was different. But I guess some of those lights from the Dollar Tree do have that smooth surface on the side. So if that's what you're looking for, you might be able to find those as well. Again, they have so many varieties. I couldn't believe it.
And I strung mine up vertically, but you could always string yours along horizontally too. This particular party cup worked really well. I don't know if it was the white iridescence, the tinted plastic like that, but it lit up, and these have lasted so long, and I love the way they look. They're really simple. You can just kind of hang them on anything. I hung them kind of near like my barbecue grill area so that I could see there at night, and I think they turned out really cute. So be on the lookout for like summer party cups, because they're a fun thing to turn into solar lights.
We have another solar light DIY. This is a little jar, I guess a little candle holder from the Dollar Tree. I think it looks coastal though, because it has like the little jute twine handle already on it. So I thought we could try to do a solar light kind of on a smaller scale. But again, using some of these little fairy garden figurines from the Dollar Tree. This one just had like 3 different kinds of seashells. They're all really pretty and well painted. And so I think 3 is going to fit perfectly in this size jar. So I'm just hot gluing those to the bottom to make sure those stay in place. And we can make a small little solar light. This would be great on a little table or for like party decor or something like that. This would actually be really cute inside your house too if you could keep your solar light charged. So there's our little 3 seashells. Gonna cover the bottom again with a little bit of that Dollar Tree brown sand. I kind of like the brown better than the white, but you could use the white as well. Then I thought I would try a different option to cover the sides of the solar light. I'm going to use one of these little burlap bags from the Dollar Tree, just because it's so easy to cut and DIY with. And I'm just going to cut out a strip about the same size as the side of the solar light. And I'm just going to cover that with burlap. I think the burlap's going to look like nice and coastal, but it's going to kind of give us a cleaner, different feel than the rope that we've been using on a lot of these solar light DIYs. So just gluing that all the way around to cover up the top of that. Now, I can take the top of the little solar light off, again, just the top, and attach that to the top of the jar. It is a really good fit on this one. And since this one doesn't have like a screw lid on there, there's nothing really to cover up with that. And so this was a great reason to use the burlap. And I just attached that with hot glue. Again, I am using hot glue on purpose on these just because if I want to be able to switch the little solar lights, I totally can. And here it is, our little kind of smaller scale seashell light. I think this is going to be really pretty.
And you could turn any of these little glass candle holders like this into a little solar light. Really cute. You could put this just about anywhere. The great thing about this one, it has a hanger, so you can also hang it too. And if you can't find any of like the little fairy garden shells and stuff like that, you can definitely use some real ones that you found from the beach or from your shell stash. I have a huge shell stash, but as you can see, it looks really fun lit up at night. It was so easy to do with just a couple of items. Be careful with the Dollar Tree solar lights though. A lot of them do not just screw off anymore, so make sure to test them before you buy them. I've been getting them at Dollar General lately for that exact reason. Now for the next one, I wanted to kind of do like kind of a coastal beachy one because I found a blue plastic solar light at the Dollar Tree. And I also picked up like an ivory candle holder, and I'm going to use some ivory spray paint to paint the top of it because it's black. And it's just a blue plastic dish. It doesn't have anything in it. And so these like solar lights are like maybe a little bit bigger, I guess, than the other ones. A little bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and spray paint this so that it will match my candlestick that I'm going to be using for this project. I want it to look coastal, like the blue and the ivory. So again, I just taped off the solar light that's inside there, and I flipped it over. Propping it up on something kind of works better. And I painted the underside, and I did have a little bit of overspray, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that up. And since I had so much overspray with the paper tag method, I am going to use painter's tape this time. It's just a matter of cutting it, you know, down to size where you're going to have straight edges. But I used some of that wider painter's tape from Dollar Tree. It was almost wide enough, but I am going to have to do a second piece to completely protect it. And this did work way better, so it's worth it. And then one more coat of this ivory spray paint on this. And anytime I can take the black on these and make it whatever color that I'm working with, the color pattern, it really does make a difference. So these are the pieces, just 2 items from the Dollar Tree. And then I just need to kind of glue them together. So it fits on there really well. I'm going to do the Gorilla Glue here along the outside of the plastic dish. And I think these are so cute. I found these in the same section that had like the golf ball, a dimpled one. And they are plastic, but the combination of that with that ceramic candle holder did make it heavier, and I think it's going to work well. And I know a lot of you guys have been looking for small seashells, so Dollar Tree has not been carrying them lately. I actually found this giant thing of seashells on Amazon. I will link this in my store. It even has some of the little starfish inside of it, which are great, but this is what they look like. They're just like the little shells from the Dollar Tree, so that's an option if you need to find them. I'm going to fill it up with some Dollar Tree white sand and then fill it up with just some seashells for the coastal look. And this giant thing of seashells was like $12.99, and I think it was like 1,200 pieces, so there's a lot of shells in there. So that is a good option for you, and I'll be sure to include it in my Amazon shop for you to make it a little bit easier, and I have that linked in the description of the video. Might as well put a starfish in there as well. That looks really cute. And then we can go ahead and put this on there. Let's make sure that the painter's tape held up. And as you can see, it did a way better job than just the tag. Just one little area of bleeding. I can go ahead and pop the lid back on there. A really simple coastal solar light with the sand and the seashells in there. Again, the ceramic candle holder really helped make it a sturdier, more substantial piece.
And this is what it looks like during the day. With the style there on the sides, you can't really see like my tiny seashells and stuff in there. So it looks more decorative, like with colors and stuff like that during the day for a little lamp. But at night, it lights up really a great pattern because you get all of the light pattern from the grooves on there. But then when you look in there, you can get that beachy feel with like the sand and the shells inside. And another fun take of one of these unique solar lights. Some of my larger Dollar Trees have more unique solar lights like this. So if you have a larger store, be sure to check it out. They might have some solar lights that you have never seen before. I really hope you enjoyed these 20 solar light Dollar Tree DIY ideas. I had such a great time putting these DIYs together for you. Let me know your favorite down in the comments below. And this is my QR code if you would like to buy me a coffee. Enjoy the final reveal.
Let's get some sun, baby, it's time to go. All we need to put on is the radio. I can feel the heat is rising, and that beat is hypnotizing. Oh, no, we run the show. Let's get louder, come on, lose control. Got to live or we get too old. Come on, shine, shine a little tonight. Let's get louder, come on, lose shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine. Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines. A 10 out of 10, Lord, she's no less than a dime. Sets my soul on fire and helps me unwind, yeah. The right kind of woman to help me feel fine. And I've been waiting for most of my life to have this love come and bury my strife and carry on. And carry on. She got the soul of a warrior, but a tender heart, yeah. Had me hooked on her love right from the start. Pleasure and happiness is never far, no. 'Cause I've been waiting for most of my life to have this love come and bury my strife and carry on. and carry on. Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines. 10 out of 10, Lord, she's no less than a dime. Sets my soul on fire and helps me unwind. She's the right kind of woman to help me feel fine. 'Cause I've been waiting for most of my life to have this love come and bury my strife and carry on. And carry on, yeah. Oh, oh,
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's solar light crafting marathon. I would also like to thank my YouTube members for supporting my channel. Thank you so much to Jamie Shobe, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Run, Donna Schreiner, Maren Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Red Mama, Powell Puppy Life, Renee Albanese, Jenny, Debbie Austin, and Lizette Thomas. If you would like to join the membership, you're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube, and it's a quick, easy way to support your favorite creators. Now, if you would like more solar light crafting inspiration, I've got you covered. Check out one of these DIY videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting.